A blast of attention-grabbing music sounded from the TV, which Levi had tuned to a local news station. "We go now to Janice Bellavacqua," said the anchor, "who has a special update on Las Vegas's very own serial killer, the Seven of Spades." Levi stiffened and spun around. The anchor exchanged greetings with a blandly attractive reporter, being filmed in front of the headquarters of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, before she fixed her gaze on the camera with an air of studied, professional concern. "Most of our viewers will remember when the Seven of Spades first appeared on the scene back in April," she said. "The mysterious killer, who identifies himself as a vigilante targeting wrongdoers who have escaped justice, went on a 2-week spree during which he took 5 victims and communicated directly with the police force on multiple occasions. At the time, the murders were attributed to disgraced former police officer Keith Chapman, who unfortunately took his own life." The feed switched to a panning shot of the front steps of the Regional Justice Center in downtown Las Vegas. Over the image, the reporter said, "The case was reopened on August 1st when Drew Barton was killed by a sniper outside the Regional Justice Center during a press conference. Our own Scott Griffith was at the scene with a camera crew, but we won't be showing that graphic footage this afternoon." Levi sat down hard on the foot of the bed. He'd been at the scene as well, mere inches away from Barton, and at the perfect angle to be sprayed with blood and bone fragments when Barton's head exploded. It had been all over his face, in his mouth, drenching the front of his shirt. He'd had to wash it out of his hair afterward. Drew Barton was being tried for the alleged murder of his wife and had been accused of attempting to cast suspicion in the Seven of Spades' direction. The Seven of Spades took immediate and very public credit for his death. The image transitioned to a recording of the ad kiosks the Seven of Spades had hijacked to send their message. A 3-dimensional Seven of Spades card and the words "all bets are off" before returning to the reporter. Since that date, the serial killer has continued to operate throughout the Las Vegas Valley, though at a slower rate than his earlier spree. Currently, there are 11 murders for which the Seven of Spades has claimed responsibility. From our communications with the LVMPD, it appears that there have been no new leads in the case and no progress toward catching this elusive killer, even after months of investigative work. Levi said, burying his face in his hands. The camera cut back to the anchor at his desk. "Is it true that crime has apparently dropped in Las Vegas over the past few months?" The reporter nodded. "According to the LVMPD, violent crime has in fact declined by 7% since August 1st. However, experts caution that this may also be linked to a corresponding decrease in tourism that has the mayor and the city council very concerned. We've been told today that the LVMPD has finally requested assistance from the FBI's National Center for the Analysis of Violent Crime and are expecting an agent later this week to help with profiling the Seven of Spades. Our inside source hints that Homicide Sergeant James Wen was extremely resistant to this action and only agreed to it after intense political pressure from higher-ups." Levi frowned at the television. He didn't know who their inside source was, but they'd gotten that right. Wen, his immediate superior, had tried to keep the FBI out of this case as long as possible. Levi wasn't exactly thrilled about the prospect of some special agents swanning in from Quantico to tell them all how much they sucked at their jobs either. "One of the things that makes the Seven of Spades so intriguing is his continued communication with the police," the reporter said. "The killer appears to have a special fondness for one of the lead investigators in the case, Detective Levi Abrams, frequently calling him on the phone and leaving messages addressed to him at crime scenes. Detective Abrams has repeatedly refused our requests for an interview." Levi snatched up the remote control and pegged it at the TV. It cracked hard against the screen and clattered to the floor. "Hey," Dominic said sharply. Levi hadn't even heard him come out of the bathroom. So much for situational awareness. "Relax, that's not your TV, you know." Taking a deep breath, Levi propped his elbows on his knees and dropped his head into his hands.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.